I knew I was going to say that. Yeah, if everyone could just take their seats. Okay, this evening I have the great pleasure of introducing our speaker, Ms. Jennifer Rathabai. She is a senior lecturer and coordinator of the Intensive English Program in the Center for English Language Studies in Sunway University. Though she is actively teaching and researching in EXL, her passion for promoting and working on the cultural values of the Melaka Chitty community has never faded. And she actually authored a comprehensive paper on the Melaka Chitty wedding in 1989. In the following year, she wrote a thesis on a case study of the Melaka Chitty staying in Gajah Berang, Melaka, and the thesis focused on aspects such as the assimilation process, the historical features of the community, tradition, language, customs, beliefs, and celebrations. Jennifer has started some initial preparation for related PhD studies, and her vision is to see that the Melaka Chitty community will become better known to the world. So let us have another round of applause to welcome Ms. Jennifer.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Now, for Melaka Chitty wedding, for any Hindu wedding, before you enter the wedding hall or the temple, we will usually sprinkle with rose water and there's some bunga rampai, means of flowers for you to take. So let's do it, right? Can we all go out? Line up and we're going to sprinkle with rose water. And as you're outside, could we just focus on some of the things on the tray which will be related to my talk later? Okay, I will do that because usually only girls can do that. Okay, but for this, because he's generous, I didn't put any of his kumkum full on the forehead. So this one you can take a bit with some perfume. Okay, no rashes, all this natural. Are you ready? Come! 1, 2, 3, one by one. Welcome. If that is my wedding. You can take some of the flower and hold it, or put it here. Masuk mana-mana boleh. Pocket. Welcome. This is rose water. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, you book it up. About an hour. I have about an hour for this talk, but then I think it will be about 20 minutes of Q&A. Before I start, I'd like to give you some introduction. First of all, are you aware of this Peranakan Indian Society? And how many of you are aware of that this society exists? Oh, endangered. Okay. Perhaps some of you know, but perhaps that's good. And I believe that you want to know more about Melaka Chitty. You know that Melaka Chitties and Baba Nyonya coexisted at the same time. They have the same value, basically on terms of their lifestyle, but there are certain things when it comes to wedding and some other religious festival, they are a bit of difference. Unfortunately, due to some economical and political situation, this society research is not prominent. That means there's not much research, really under research. There's not much writing about this society, this we call it hybrid society or marginalized society, as compared to Baba and Nyonya. But however, I would like to tell you that there are some initial work done. Just to let you know that with Melaka Chitty working with the Baba Nyonya Kuala Lumpur Society, they had convention, international convention. They were managed to invite some of the Melaka Chitty Society in Singapore, and that's how they had the symposium. No, this is Melaka Chitty first symposium in Singapore in October, which I presented also. So they have a book in Singapore, comprehensive, but Malaysia we don't have any book like this. So somebody has to start writing. Okay, and then of course they also have a newsletter we don't have, Malaysia has nothing yet. We need to do it. They have restarted in 2006 or 5. This is a newsletter about news and the activities. And in Singapore, they already done a study about their family tree. And they have a record of who is your grandmother, grandfather, uncle, granduncle. They have done that, and we have not. So there's a lot of things that we need to work on. So that is why, hopefully, with few other researchers, we hope that we could bring out this society and write books and newsletters like this. Because Singapore has started. In Singapore, it's because the heritage village is Gajah Berang. As compared to our Peranakan, we call it Peranakan Baba Nyonya cousins because of the same, and there's a lot of intermarriage among themselves. So this is the reason why, as I said, though from the English world, I'm going into this more anthropological and sociology because it's very much under research. Okay, so this is just a bit of introduction that works have been done, but not in Malaysia yet. Need to be done more. Okay, and also just to let you know, I'm also a Melaka Chitty from my grandmother's side. Okay, first, as usual, mobile phone on silent, please. Okay. My computer is blank. Oh. Okay, as I'm showing the pictures, you take some time. You need to look and observe the pictures of the wedding ceremony. Because basically, one of the main differences besides the processor and the name used is the costume. As you can see, I thumbs up of the costumes around here, and it's different from the Hindu wedding. It's different. Yes? Okay. Okay, these wedding pictures are in the 1930s. If you are not sure, you probably thought this is a Malay wedding or a Peranakan wedding. Okay, but they are actually Peranakan Indians, or we call it Melaka Chitty. Okay, this is between these, after 70 years or 80 years, there was initiative of the youngster in Kampong Tujuh Gajah Berang who wanted to start a traditional Indian wedding. So after many years, I think as I say, after 70 to 80 years, we had, I think it was in 5 or 6 years ago, he will be coming later because he has written a comprehensive Melaka Chitty, I guess, a handbook, and I think he's working with Malacca Museum to publish it. So we hope for the first publication on Melaka Chitty regarding wedding. Okay, this one is Melaka Chitty wedding, but this couple, they are not. Costume is typical Tamil or Hindu. It's not Melaka Chitty. Because basically when I say Melaka Chitty, they are Hindus, but most of them are migrated from South India. So basically it's a South Indian wedding style. Yeah? This is the wedding I attended 3 weeks ago. Okay? If you remember, this guy invited all of us. I think the 3 members who came, and she's one of them, I remember, you came for this wedding. Right? Okay, I happened to meet her. She is not Melaka Chitty, she's a Chinese, so she had to go through an additional ceremony which I'll explain to you later. Okay? This is also in the 80s. This is also in the 30s, 40s. Okay? He was one of the prominent Melaka Chitty leader. He was called K.T. Chitty. His wife is of a Chinese descendant. So there's a lot of intermarriages. And the pictures, black and white because they've been many, many years. It's difficult. Okay? So we call it Peranakan Indian or Melaka Chitty wedding. Okay. So I'll talk about marriage in Hinduism, since we have a mixed group audience who perhaps are not sure about Hinduism, marriage in Hinduism, but it's very, very brief. Okay, I'll talk about wedding ceremonies. Just like a Baba Nyonya, you have 12 nights, right? Okay, so here we have pre, during and post. It's a lot of ceremonies. Okay, now Hindu baptism. This is the only community that has Hindu baptism. If anyone is married a Chinese woman, they have to do this and they have to become Hindu. So I'll go through with you about the process later. So that is what is very different from other Indian weddings, being baptized. So instead of, you heard the word born again, the Christian is, I think it's a born again Hindu here. Okay, wedding attire. So that's one of the significant here between the Indians. Okay, and then we have significant differences between the others and the future identity through weddings. Because as a hybrid society which is very under research, how are we going to be identified through weddings? So that is a question mark. Okay, marriage in Hinduism, there was an incident where one of the gods gave her daughter to another god. So that daughter was considered as a bride. So that's where marriage started in Hinduism. There are more details, but this is just brief how it started. Okay? Now, and in Hinduism, there's a strong and respectful among husband and wife family and also extended family. It means that it is not within your wife's family, but extended family. I think it's very Asian in terms of this concept. It's not only you get married into your husband's family or wife's family, but into their extended families. Okay? Alright. And Hinduism, when it comes to wedding, is based on the Vedas. Vedas are old scripts of, on Hinduism. Very symbolic. As you see all the things on the trays, they are very symbolic. And if I want to explain all this, this time, 1 hour is not enough. So it's going to be general about the wedding. Because everything is done is very symbolic and ritual. And I've yet to know more about it. And I hope that Mr. Nadaraja will be here, and I think he'll be here and he can give you, if you need to know more of the symbolic things, he can let you know. Okay? Just like in any other religion or culture, husband and wife as one soul and spirit. And usually, if you can see that this in Hindu weddings is very colorful. A lot of decoration. As you can see, the entrance has been decorated. That is a common decoration. Can we just look at the entrance? You see at the entrance is bunga mangga. If you go to any other Indian wedding, Hindu weddings, you don't have bunga mangga. This is the assimilation process of local, because firstly we have to know that Melaka Chitty is how it started with Indian merchants who married local women. Usually Malays, Java or Batak. So the women are usually local, and those days, Malay weddings we have bunga mangga and such. So this is how you will have in Melaka Chitty weddings. Okay, and in other Indian weddings you will not find this. These are some of the differences. Our cultural assimilation over the 500 years, 5 centuries. And the other decoration is of Hindu decoration. So you can see it's a mixture of local culture and Hinduism. That is what makes it very unique. Welcome, Mr. Nadaraja. As you can see, one of the bride was wearing traditional wedding was him. Okay? Pre-wedding ceremonies. There is overlapping or same as the Malay traditional ceremony, and also with some of their peranakan, Baba peranakan. I've yet to write a comparative study between Baba peranakan and Indian peranakan weddings, because there are some of similarities between them. The first one is inquiry, we call it marese, and then we call it in Malay, in English, inquiry, and then Malay marese, and in Melaka Chitty there's also Melaka Chitty dialect. Melaka Chitty dialect is a mixture of local Malay and Indian words. A lot of religious words, when it comes to religious or some cultural words are used, Indian words are used. Tamil, basically most of them came from the Tamil speaking regions in India about 500 years ago. Okay? Melaka Chitty, they call it warning. The person who goes to speak with their parents, it's not their parents, you have a middle person, it's called warning. That is a Melaka Chitty name. Compatible match, okay, in Tamil it's called Purutam or Jadagam. In Malay they call it Tengok Jodoh, just like in Malay language. Because as you know, the only thing that Melaka Chitty has about being something related to as Indian is the religion. That is the steadfast criteria or features of Melaka Chitty. The rest is very localized. Okay, and you know that their mother tongue is Malay. You know, Melaka Chitty dialect. So this is the Melaka who say tengok jodoh, and most of them can't speak Tamil very fluent. So we speak Malay. Of course, there's some initial movement by them to learn Tamil. Some of them could, some of them can't. So if I communicate with my aunt, we speak, or my cousin, we just speak Malay. Okay? And then we have the proposal, Nitya Satram, that is in Tamil, Masuk Meminang. These are the process. Okay, and then Hindu baptism, they call it Masuk India. Masuk India, when I put MC is Melaka Chitty, T is Tamil, M is Malay, to let you know the language. Because language is also another important thing. Okay, and then you have Hindu baptism, which I will talk to you very detailed because I think this is new for you. Yes, have you heard about this before? Some of you look stunned. Really, there is. Okay, this is different. And we have establishment of pillar. We call it night tiang. Oh, sorry, there's extra and that. Okay, coming of age. This is a process. For example, if a Melaka Chitty man is getting married to another Melaka Chitty girl or a Hindu girl, this coming of age ceremony is skipped because they would have done it when they come of age. But if he's getting married to a Chinese woman, they don't have this ceremony and she must do this. Without doing this, you cannot have the wedding ceremony. They call it sway. Must do it. Okay? So these are the important things that must be done. The pre-wedding ceremonies are very important as well as on the wedding day. There are a lot more to do before on the wedding day. Okay? Now, Sunway is coming of age and there is also ceremony. Big ceremony, there's some rituals. So as you can see, actually, if you can see this one, many years ago, this is how I look, okay? Right? So, yes, so I was watching the ceremony. So there's we call it mandi. Okay, mandi means is the time that it has been showered and has been done by her aunts, different aunts. If you have 10 aunts, then you have to do it. And there's a certain position when you have to pour water. Left to the right to left, you must be careful. If you do it wrongly, you have to do it again. Because every step has its meaning. Wrong move, bad luck. Yeah? Okay? Now, see, two slides of pre-wedding ceremonies. Okay? Engagement, wedding card. Now this is very interesting. Look at the word. Hantar Sirih Koil Patiram. Hantar Sirih is Malay word. Koil Patiram is Tamil word. It's very long. Okay, it says that when you send the card, when you are inviting, you have to do it in a very ceremonial way. As you can see at the entrance, there is a wedding card, turmeric at the 4 squares, and there is sirih, down sirih, and some nuts. Yeah, so then it has to be done that way. And it has to be brought to the temple to be blessed before you are giving it to the people. So it's a lot of process. So what I'm doing is, I'm going into the important parts and something is new. If I'm going to go very detailed, I'm sorry, I think I don't have 1 hour. This is a lot of things. Okay? Making of tali. Now, one of the sacred material or a symbol that shows a Hindu woman is married is a tali that is tied around the neck. Is usually is sprayed and is yellow color turmeric, and there is also like a stone. Okay, of course nowadays when it's done, when the man tie it around his wife to be, it will be in that particular string, yellow string. Then after 3 days or certain days, you can change it into gold. So women now wear gold. Okay. Some women, they are married, you see they don't do it because there's a lot of snatch thief who takes away their tali. What they do is they keep it with the permission of the husband. If you're going out, you can see they don't use it because a lot due to snatch thieves. Because the pendant is gold and there is symbol. There is symbol and there is meaningful. And if a woman loses her tali, it means bad luck. She'll be a widow. So there's a lot of superstition. You have to take care of your tali properly and really guard it with your heart and your soul and your life. The next one is setting the tent, and this is very important. Setting the tent is usually 3 days before that. Before you set the tent also, before you put in the pillar, you start the pillar, you have to put 9 types of seeds in the hole that you dig before you put on your, the foundation. You have to put 9 types of seeds, milk, before you start the tent. It's very, very symbolic. A lot of processes, and it has to be very detailed. Okay. If night ritual is, they call it pusing. This is where another ceremonial for men and women, for the bride to be and for the groom to be. And henna night is normal even in some Malay weddings. You henna. You know, on the hand they decorate from leaves. Yeah. Now wedding day. Wedding day. Usually in the usual Indian weddings, the arrival of groom is with a trumpet, the Indian trumpet. But if you follow the Melaka Chitty way, it's called Rabana. It's with the Rabana. I will have a picture later. I'll show you. It's like kompang, but it's played with a stick. This is where I saw it 3 weeks ago, with a stick. That is how it is. It's a musical to accompany with the arrival of the groom. Okay. And then there's a lot of rituals. We can see later. You can see some of the pictures over there in my slides later. There's too many rituals. Okay. The only thing is to wait for the ritual is to wait for the handbook, which is written by Mr. Nadaraja, so we can see all the details of the wedding, details, significant rituals, from the banana to the coconut. What is the meaning from the left to right? You have to know. Because there is no publication or any written form of guidelines for this wedding ceremony. It is what been told by your great-great-grandparents and what you have seen and observed. Because as you can see, between the first time the wedding was done and the next one was done, I think it was about 80 to 70 years. So what happened to the next generation? After 6 years, there was a next traditional wedding. Can you see the gap? 80 years or 70 years, and then you have 6 years, and then the next gap when? Perhaps we need, with the establishment of the guideline, and also to create awareness that we can get more people, Melaka Chitty people, to conduct or to get married in this way. Okay? When I ask many people why you're not doing in this Melaka Chitty way, the first thing is very expensive. This is made of songket. Okay? And you cannot rent, because in their culture it's believed when you wear it once, another person cannot wear this. Okay? And there's also, you need some expert, skilled workers to design some of the decoration. I will show you later some of the props. They have props needed for the wedding. And as far as I know, there's only 2 people in Gajah Berang, Melaka Chitty, who can do that. And one is already in his 60s and another one in the 40s. So you need younger generation. So these are the reasons why you need to know the props. Okay, the very interesting part here is time tali. Okay, and they have their caste system. Okay, now their caste system, they are not very strict as what they have in India. Here is different. Okay, they are very flexible. It's a lot of intermarriages. In some castes, when they tie tali, it's very sacred, so they have to cover the bride and the groom when he is tying the tali. Okay? And some is open, anyone can see it. So it depends on which caste. So this caste is called the Raja caste. There is Chetty caste, there is Pillai caste, there is Hadiachi caste, and there is also Patel caste. Okay? So, and Naikal caste. So there are about 7 to 8, 9 castes. But I know that the Raja caste, they are doing this way. They do this way. That they completely block it with a white dhoti. Okay? And then these are others going around the fire, ritual, ice breaking. This ice breaking ceremony is called Masuk Cinti. Most of the Indian weddings, they will have this. Okay, this is called icebreaker. So in Melaka Chitty weddings, you have icebreaker, not only for the groom and the bride, even for the parents of the groom and the bride, which I will show you later, because the slides after this. Okay, now look, this is what I call the props. This is Mr. Nararaja, who got married about 6 to 7 years ago. As you can see, his mother is beside him. She's one of the earlier generation who actually went through Hindu baptism because she was Chinese. And they were usually given a name, and she completely adopted the Melaka Chitty lifestyle. She can speak Mandarin, at the same time can she speak fluent Malay, and also very into the Melaka Chitty culture. Okay, this is the, can you see the props? Okay, so this is supposed to be the fan. And on this fan, you're not supposed to have any picture of the god, because this is a procession of a human, not a procession of the goddess. So it's very important. Every detail is looked into, and you can see the umbrella. Okay, all this you need someone skilled to design to do it. You can't buy from the shop. You don't have any shops here selling this. I don't think so. So you need this, all needed. These props all are needed. Okay, and look at their costume. This is their traditional costume. So even the hat is called talpa. You need skilled workers to do that. You can't buy it. But as you can see later, it's of Javanese influence. The attire is of Javanese influence later. So this is how the props are needed when the groom is paraded into the temple. Even when they finish, when they are married, it's the same thing. Okay, this is called the rabana, and it's played with a stick. Okay, if it's in the Malay culture like kompang, and it's played with the hand. Okay, because some people avoid playing this with the stick, because also in Hindu culture during a funeral this is played. So there's some kind of belief. I wouldn't want to play this. It's like a funeral, but some, it is a culture, they will do that. So these are some of the different beliefs. Exchange of garland, it is a must. Okay, the wedding. Okay, this is exchange of garland between the bride and the bridegroom, and then later, of course, all the elders in the family will do that. This is after the wedding, and you can see there's a banner too. Can you see this banner? So they have fan, they have umbrella, they have banner. All these are colorful and matching. Okay, so it's not a procession. It's a procession, but it's a wedding procession with banner. Okay, I'm not sure. Have you seen any wedding procession with banner, umbrella, and this kind of fan? No. Come to Kampong Tujuh Gajah Berang, you can see this. Hopefully, there's another wedding we can go and watch. Yeah. So that is why it is very interesting tradition. Okay. So these are the wedding ceremonies on the wedding day. So you can see that a long list of pre-wedding ceremonies, and then you have the wedding day. I've not even come to the post-wedding ceremonies. Yeah? So these are some of the ceremonies. What is interesting, let's look at this. Fathers playing chongka. You know that people usually play, we know that we usually play chongka for leisure time, but as I said, during the wedding, even parents have ice-breaking game. Just now, as you can see, the bridegroom, they will have Masuk Cincin. They will also play game, but this is father's play. And the loser will be stuck with banana. Right? Now, and then you have reception. Okay? This is we call it bingo night. Okay? But even the bingo night, I mean the first night, you need to see the priest for the right day, right time. Wrong time, wrong day, I don't know what happened. Maybe no children or something. So if you want, might not be the first night of your wedding. You have to wait 2 days, 3 days. So that is very important. Everything is, every ceremony actually is with the advice of the priest. It's always about the time, the right time, and the right day. Very important. So usually people will respect that kind of rules. Okay, now this is what I wanted to show you, playing chongka. Can you see that? This is the father. Okay, If any of the fathers, either the bride or the groom, one of them passed away, they choose their uncle, anyone elder in the family. Okay? So as you can see, this is where they were playing. And this is the loser, so he stopped with the banana. And it's only playing one round. Just one round. Because you know, if you want to play chongka, it takes many time. A lot of time. The one that I witnessed 3 weeks ago, I think it was played within a minute. And then suddenly I saw the other guy was stuck with the banana. But this is not a wedding I saw 3 weeks ago. This wedding was about 6 years ago. Okay? So this is quite interesting. Have you seen any wedding where parents have to play chongka and start with banana? No. It's in Melaka Chitty tradition. Okay? Now, this is where we have a decorated. I had my friend with a camera who took from the top view. This is the pictures took 3 weeks ago. Top view, this is where you have turmeric, and that's where there will be some, you will have, we call it main cincin. That means, literary translation, play with ring. So it will be ring, and they have to put their hand together. You see, it's supposed to be smaller, so that it will be smaller. They will have the fun of touching inside. Because those days you don't see your bride, your arranged marriage. So icebreaker, touching, you start with that game first. So it depends on the man. If he wants the bride to win, he will just let go and let her have the ring. So it depends. There's some politics inside the jar. Okay. So so this was how it was it. This was something I saw new. I'm not sure because it was the first time I saw vegetables. See, in the wedding, there will be a groom sitting, okay, at the platform, and there will be a lot of things, vegetables, sweets. I will show you later. The things that you saw outside, some will be on the mat or on the floor of the temple. A lot of things, okay. So something interesting, and also you have fruit and sweet. Usually banana, lots of banana and sweet, because it's symbolizing happy moments, okay. And post-wedding. Post-wedding is you have ceremonial bath, we call it mandi. This thing is the whole village who will have mandi. Because after this ceremonial, somebody naughty will pour water among each other, and they will run around the village throwing water. This time, high-tech, those days you just throw this water. Now they put ice cubes and they throw. So, for fun. That means the wedding is everyone will, have fun together. So this is the most interesting. Send the bride home, okay, for a few hours, the ceremonial, and then after 3 days, she'll be sent to the husband home for good. Okay, so that is the process, a lot of processes. Now I would like to, okay, there's also good time. To get married today is the time, so you have a few hours, you want to get married to finish 10 December and 1st December according to horoscope, because a lot of horoscope, it's dependent on a lot of horoscope. So a lot of the horoscope, first and today. Okay, so the next one, 2015, I'm not sure in the internet, because usually they have this. Usually the priest will advise. So certain months, Hindus will not get married. Because Melaka Chitty Hindus, they will follow that rule. Okay? Okay, this is where I want to focus about Hindu baptism. Okay? This is the only done in Melaka Chitty community. Okay, you can see the spelling Chetty, Chitty. Based on researchers, these are English spelling, because Malay spelling was Ceti, Chetty. So when you change it into English, you say E or Hi. Okay? E, it will show the community. When you put Chetty, some people believe that one caste is with this spelling. So to be fair, perhaps Chetty, but there's more reading and research to do which is the right spelling. Okay? For sure, Melaka Chitties are not the money lenders at Chetia, but they are a hybrid society of Malay traders who got married with local women and also intermarried with Peranakan women. Nyonya. Okay? So, this is the baptism ceremony of Miss Chong Yu-wen. So, after baptism, her name is Priyanka. Okay? So, this was done this year. before October, perhaps 2 months before October or 3 months before October. If this is not done, then the other ceremonies cannot. Of course, the women have to agree to be baptized to be a Hindu, or else there will be a different story then. Yeah? Okay? Now, let's look at this. What is this? What is Hindu baptism? Which might be new to some of you. Okay? Convention of a Chinese woman, she converted into Hinduism before marrying a Melaka Chitty man. Okay? Why? Because they're firm because one thing about Melaka Chitty, okay, though a lot of challenges, a lot of development, but the Hindu faith is very strong. Stand firm in their root. That's one of the things. So that is very important. They prefer to have a soulmate who will uphold the Saiva faith, means it's the Hindu faith. Must be done before the engagement. Where? Sivan temple or the groom's house. Because when I interviewed some of them, because all this what I did is based on interview, because there's no research. So these all are interviews, recent interviews and interviews I done 20 years ago. Okay? Sivan temple or the groom. So one of them did Sivan temple and the other person did it in his home. Okay? Who usually will be the bride to be, the priest, future husband and close relatives. So you see, the groom is also a mix. Father is Melaka Chitty and mother is Chinese, who actually also converted into Hindu. So she's being blessed by her future in-laws. How is this process done? They have to meet the temple priest, give details. So in Hinduism, if you want to know about a name, you must give information about the birth date, the time of the birth, and also horoscope. And then the priest will tell you, okay, will advise you the first letter of your name, or the sound is pr or s or da. Okay, so for her it was I think, yeah, because Priyanka. So I got a list of women, Chinese women who married Melaka Chitty. For example, Xiao Sunbi is Kamala, and then Wong Xiu-wan is Valani. These some of the guys who have interviewed. These are their names of their wives. And then some I can't remember. Even Chinese men have to convert. So this is the Chinese man Tam, but I cannot get his full name. He converted to Hinduism because he married a Melaka Chitty woman, and his name is Anand. So it's not only the women, it's the men too. Because they're very firm about Hinduism, very firm about carrying on the Hindu tradition. Okay? And then they will have, some kind of blessing for the newly converted Hindu, and then there will be, usually it's vegetarian served. Okay? So this is Hindu baptism. If you want to get married to a Melaka Chitty, man or woman, and you will be given a name. Okay? Your passport and your IC will be still your correct name, not the other name. Okay? For official documents, you still have the name. I'm not sure whether they have changed the name. These are some of the wedding attires that you can see. This wedding attire usually is also used by the Peranakan. Okay? Dokong is a huge necklace. I don't have the example, but if you look into the Google into the older wedding attires of Melaka Chitties, you can see this is necklace, this huge stitch of necklace. And then this also, there are different styles, and this is called Goryang, the head. If you can, later you can see pictures of Peranakan women wearing this. Okay, I have brought some examples. This is called Goryang. Okay. This is thank you to Mrs. Vimala who has given, because some of them are interested in the cultural value of Melaka Chitty, so they have this attire. I would like to wear this. This cannot fit me, not I cannot fit. This cannot fit me, okay? Right. So this is called Goryang, okay? And these are some of the accessories that they will tie here. See? Yes, it's locally. Men and women. They all, later I will show you a picture, comprehensive picture of the groom and the bride. So these are some of the things. Okay. This is called bimpo, handkerchief, but in this way. And you hold it here. Okay, bimpo. So this is to match with, this is the guy's costume here. Okay. Later you can see the women wear over here, because they're not going to wear sari. They don't wear sari, yeah. Melaka Chitty women, because their tradition is assimilated into Javanese and Malay, so they are not wearing sari. They will wear baju kurung like this, and they have an apron like this. If you see into the picture, the first picture, you can see that in the 1930s, black and white, they have this. Okay, so this is the one. Symbolic. I've yet to know because it's a lot of things. This is kain songket. Okay, so this is for the bride. These are the sarung baja. Yes. Okay, and then this is the belt from the man. Okay, you see all the comprehensive work. So it's expensive. Okay. Unless if someone is able to start a rent center, that means they rent all this costume, perhaps there's a next initiative that the committee can do. And this is called dabo, is it? Is it dabo? Dabo. This is a man. This I can fit. That cannot fit me. This I can fit. Okay, so this is for the man. Yes, for the man, this costume. Okay, so these are some of the costume. And one thing interesting about Melaka Chitty flower garden is, if you see any Hindu weddings, the flower garden is like this, one round. But Melaka Chitty is let it go, not like this. Usually any garden, you know, it's like this. Melaka Chitty let it go, frozen let it go. Okay, why? To show the elaborated decoration. Very clever those days. Okay, this matching. Okay, anyway, in Hindu tradition, I cannot wear this very long. Though I'm not a Hindu, but I'm just telling you that we cannot wear this very long for Hindus, because when you die, you also wear this. So I have to take it fast. There is also symbolic. Okay, anyone, only wedding day. Nowadays you cannot walk around with this, the garland. Okay, only the gods. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, it's not as one round. I want to tell you, you will also have entertainment, because in Melaka Chitty wedding, it's never a wedding without entertainment. So later we will sing louder than them. Okay. What I'm wearing is a mix. It's a mix. It's not really a Melaka Chitty thing. Later, some ladies will show you a true Melaka Chitty costume. It's just same as a peranakan. Yeah. This is where you can see. Yeah. So talpa, I don't have, but you can have a look. Look, talpa is the influence of Javanese headdress. So we're going to look into the headdress. Okay, and then so Mr. Narajan is there, behind there, okay? So that is Javanese influence. And then men also wear earring. Okay, in Indian culture, men wear earring. It is common. So it's called kadenga in Melaka Chitty dialect. Okay? And then you have Malay, as I showed you just now, okay? As you can see, okay? You have to let it go. It's not as one circle. And then you have bimpo, as I show you, handkerchief. Yeah, in matching. Yeah, this is one set. You can see this, exactly the same. Okay, all right. It is not dhoti. It's totally different from the Indian what you call that, costume. And then you have, look at the crease. Yeah, these are cultural assimilation with Hinduism with local culture. There's a crease. There's some Malay self-defense, but those days also is also got to do with status, and also there's a lot of meaning of that. And then you have dabo. Dabo is called the top. Okay? And then you have dabo bottom maxi skirt. I showed you here, this one. Okay, this one set. Okay, and then look, the man is also wearing a necklace. Yeah, they also wear jewelry. Now let's look at the bride, who's also sitting, our ex-bride also sitting behind. Okay. let's look at the headdress. Okay, the headdress is a mixture of local and Indian. Because you have sanggol, you cannot see but the sanggol is not this side, the sanggol is up this way. I don't have any photos yet of the near from the back, and I hope to have that one day. Because all those who had a wedding using this traditional, they actually analyze the old photos of the 80 years ago. They analyze and they look and they make exactly like that. They depended on the photo. That is what they told me. It's what they see in the photo. Because there's no written document. So with the photo they use and exactly they get it. This is how it was done. Okay? And you can see bimpo at the side. Okay? Alright? There's a lot of, also again I need another time for a talk on, just on the wedding attire. It's very detailed, very elaborated. Very. So today is just passing through. Okay? Let's look at this. You can see the headdress is a similar, Peranakan headdress is a similar of the wedding or the Melaka Chitty headdress. And look at the dokong. That is the same dokong used by the Peranakan bride, okay, and Melaka Chitty. It's because they have coexisted at the same time. There's a lot of borrowing, adaptation, assimilation. Okay, it's very rich culture. You can see, see the costume is very detailed explained. Long maxi top in long sleeve, okay, head embroidered ornaments, a lot of things. Okay, you can see, this is a Peranakan costume. But the Peranakan groom headdress is different from the Melaka Chitty headdress. So these are the things you look at, from the headdress to the ornaments to the material. Because you see, it's also wearing skirt, a long maxi skirt. Perhaps I don't think so. It's called dabo. I'm not sure about that yet. For the Peranakan, yeah, it's something like this, but the material is a bit different. Okay, but this material for the bride is made from sari. So some sari material is very outstanding, very glittering. Yeah. Okay, this is a Melaka Chitty wedding, but not using traditional Melaka Chitty wedding attire. It is using normal South Indian wedding attire. It's using the normal white dhoti that you can find in any Indian wedding, and she's wearing a sari. So probably those days you have probably one or two couples who have this attire. So you can see this. Okay, this is not a Melaka Chitty costume at all. This is a typical South Indian wedding attire. Because when you talk about Indian, Hindu, there's Northern India and Southern India. In terms of costume, ritual and the god that they pray, there are many differences actually. Okay, so this is more of a South India influence. As you can see, most of the Indians came from the Kalinga part of India. And you can see, look at the costume and the headdress. It is a Javanese. Look at the Javanese. Can you look at the Javanese group? Headdress is what Melaka Chitty wears. It's called talpa. Talpa means, in Tamil means, talpa means tala. Tala means head. So that is, I know Tamil too. Okay. So that is how this works. So it's interesting also to study the linguistic of Melaka Chitty dialect. How it's evaluated from a Tamil word into a Melaka Chitty word. From tala becomes talpa, talapa. So this is very interesting research also on linguistic science. Okay, as you can see, the sango when it comes to Javanese or Malay women, you can see the sango is towards upright, right? But if you can see in the and it's coming jutting out. For the Melaka Chitty, as you can see, the earlier picture it's not jutting out, okay, but it's coming behind, because I don't have the picture, so it's a different way of doing, but you have sango, it's just that it's not jutting out like this. Okay, and there's also flower garland. So these are the interesting to look at the significant differences. Now this is a typical Indian wedding. By looking at this, you know they are now Melaka Chitties, traditional, because this is how they dress. Sari. Look at the headdress. Okay, Melaka Chitty headdress for a wedding is not like this. Look at the necklace, look at the man costume. This is not how they wear. It is different, as you've seen just now. Okay? It's a different set of clothes, as you can see. Okay? Now, the significant differences. You have Hindu baptism. Duit tete, or some people call it duit susu. You give it during the engagement when you are talking and negotiating about the expenses. Okay? Why they have a very interesting name. Why you want to know? One day we will have another talk about the names, because everyone will have a nickname. Okay? We have a lot of different nicknames and always depend because of certain things. Okay? And then you have plain chongka. You can see that plain chongka is a part of a ceremonial ritual that must be done in the traditional Melaka Chitty wedding. And then you have, in terms of linguistics, when it comes to ritual, religious, when it comes to religion, all the names are Tamil names, okay, are still used. The reason is because when it comes to culture, lifestyle, food, it is assimilated into the Malay or Javanese, but not the religion. So that is why the names are still used. Okay? Right? Of course, some they try to make it easy. If they cannot pronounce it in Tamil, okay, Poratam, it's very difficult because they speak Malay, they're not speaking Tamil. So it's difficult to say the word Poratam, Nichatatam, very difficult if you don't speak Tamil. So they have to simplify as Marise, Mandi Mandi, Main Chin Chin. Okay? Now, the wedding attire is clearly influence of Peranakan Chinese and Javanese. As I mentioned earlier, when the merchants came from India, though they probably had wives or family in India, but when they had to stay in Malacca for many months for the exchange or monsoon, you know, men, they have to get married. Okay, and those days survival, they can't live alone because they have been for a long time. So they get married with the local women, Javanese. This is how you have the attire, because they can't bring in whatever ritual from India because they don't have the resources. So they have to depend on the local women to have the resources for the wedding, especially the attire and some of the ceremonial things. Okay. Okay, local culture is embedded into the Melaka Chitty entertainment. So we will, usually after a wedding there will be Dondang Sayang. Dondang Sayang is actually singing out the pantun. So today we'll have Dondang Sayang, live Dondang Sayang, basically for wedding. Then we'll have, we won't have reciting poems because the poems will be sung by my friend and the daughter. Playing Chiki we don't have, we're not going to play Chiki, but we will have some joki. You all have to dance. In an Indian wedding or a Melaka Chitty wedding, you can't live without dancing. As I asked you to just now line up again to sprinkle, so before you go, you can't leave my talk without dancing. Okay? Now, what would you do? This question is for all of us. As we are interested in culture, we are interested into nation building, what are we going to do to help or to promote this hybrid society? As I told you just now, earlier, it's very under-researched. Melaka Chitty community very under-researched. I already showed you that in Singapore, you already have a book on that. They're making a lot of research initiative and we have not done that. So what are we going to do? What is the community going to do? Can we further establish Melaka Chitty through this wedding ceremony or other important matters? Okay, so with this, I'd like to end my presentation about Melaka Chitty wedding. I hope you have learned something or you have got something new or something interesting or something you want to know more. The talk is not ended yet because we still have a lot of activities. I also managed to bring some delicacy, Melaka Chitty delicacy. After the wedding, usually it's served with sweets. Okay, but we have some Melaka Chitty traditional delicacy. Thank you.
And now we will proceed with the question and answer session. Or if anyone would like to come up with their answers to that question over there, Please, anyone who would like to speak, please raise your hands and I will come over and hand you the mic. So, are there any questions? The floor is now open.
Sorry, when I was listening, three things came to mind.
Can you speak louder, please?
When I was listening to you, three things came to mind. One is of course the similarities to a Chinese Nyonya Baba, and also the adoption of the Malay culture into a lot of Peranakan practices. One of the things I was thinking about was about dowry, and the other thing is the age when they used to marry, and polygamy. These three things came to mind. Maybe you can tell me something about it.
First of all, in Malaysia, no Indians, I can't think of any Indians, or most Indians, 98% we don't believe in dowry. We are truly Malaysian, and there is, especially in Melaka Chitty, there is no such thing where is my hometown in India, because they've been here since 15th century. This is home. So there is no such thing as dowry, and in Malaysia most Indians don't practice this. So that's why there's no dowry, and there's a lot of intermarriages among the locals, so the dowry doesn't exist within the local community. That's why there's no dowry. If there's dowry, certain group of Indians, because there are many different types, different groups, some ethnic groups, they probably do it, but Melaka Chitty, as far as I know, they don't have dowry. Okay, but what they do is they negotiate. Okay, I'm not sure whether it is true they negotiate during the engagement. I'm not sure whether they have dowry.
Okay, I like to say that
there
is no dowry actually. They call hantaran. There's no dowry. They between us what you want to give. Normally we give to the girl side is one necklace, two subang, then bangle, a ring. That's it. Ring for the engagement, but after that there's no demand for that. The most important is what in the wedding is that during the engagement we have to pay to the mother some sort of 180. 180 means that one susu. So that why we pay that, it depends to you. Normally we pay 101 or 51, where to give the money for the mother to feed the girl from small until right up to 8. So we give that money only for the thanks before I take another. That is what we do.
This is the groom is giving, not is, because in India the dowry is the woman gives a lot. If you are a doctor, you have to pay probably 2.5 million. It depends on the status. Here is, we don't have that. Okay?
You see, the way of the hantaran is the same like Malay.
Malay, yes.
The Malay said different things. We said a lot of fruits and sweets. And
the things you can see outside the trays, these are the things we will send. Yeah? Okay? And you asked about polygamy. We all believe in one man, one wife. So if there's polygamy, side orders, I don't know.
I come back to that one because those days the Melaka Chitty men, they have 2 wives. Some got 4 wives, some got 4 wives, but I don't know how they manage.
Yeah, because in today's civil law, you only can have one. Yeah, for Indians, okay, for Hindus. Because I remember one man tried to marry another woman while he's married. So he was reported by the police and the wedding has to be stopped. Because legally she has the right, yes. Okay, so that is one of the things. What was the other question?
Age.
So we want to...
The age.
Melaka Chitty people are quite open-minded. So, those days is different. We're talking about many years ago, all over us. If you're 18, you're not married, something is wrong. Okay, now, I'm in my 40s, I'm not married, so it's okay. Nobody is disturbing, asking me anything. So, they change according to time. Okay? So, there is no particular age. Because some of the marriages are 20 years difference. Some of the marriages, the man is younger, woman is older, so there's mix. It's more modern nowadays. As compared before, I think it's the same thing. Everyone, we follow the rule. No one should be even 1 hour older than the men. And usually girls, they get married early. Yeah. Anyone else? I want to know how much traditional wedding cost. Okay, another way, since you did a traditional comprehensive, you have to tell how much did you spend. I remember the costume is 6,000, right? It's all your life serving, right? Come.
Okay, I get married in that costume, and I think it's very nice to wear the costume that they wear it before the Japanese. They wear this one, but after that it stopped already. So they try to wear Indian costume because when I find out when I do the costume, it's quite very expensive. And then normally they use is not the kind the socket, but actually is a China silk. And you know the costume what they do before they get married, they will put in the kanji. So after they dry, when they walk, they will like robots. The sound they want, yeah, I cannot be there. If I want that, then I become robot. So the price of taking of that, the costume I did, the sari material, it cost me about 2,000 or 1,000 plus. And then the socket, I go and buy another expensive one, very good material. They all include all everything in my shoes, in the cost of money. My cost of money is 700 and 800 one pair. So all include about 6,000 extra. For the two bride and the bridegroom. And the props is different. The prop I come about maybe about 800. That is 208. But now I don't know how much. That's why it's very expensive. Because see our costume, not today like the Korean costume they give other people to use. But today my costume I cannot give to other people to use because when I die they say you have to use the costume. But I say there, no need to use the costume to change other costume, to use the sari or dhoti, keep the costume. Because I go inside the graveyard, all will be rotted, so I said to me. So keep the thing, you change. Because that is why we cannot give our costume to other people to use. Even today I do the Malay, it cost me about 500. You know, how many hours? 2 hours. 500.
This one is not real. This is not real.
Costume. So after you use 2 hours, you have to take and throw in the sea. That's it.
Even this fake one is 400. Yes. This is fake one is 400.
It is very expensive actually. The Indian wedding is very
It's not, it's by hand. You cannot use machine. It's skill.
Is it real flowers?
No.
This is not real. Real is too expensive. Real one is
So
500.
when you wear, it's only 2 hours because our wedding is about 2 hours. You sit there, they don't give anything, nothing. You sit there, you watch. A lot of ceremony to go around there, go around here, after round and round, then you tie the tali. The most important is the timing. So we tie the tali within 3 knots. We got 3 knots to tie. Normally our wedding, the Indian wedding, they would like to have in the morning. Because why? When you tie the tali, the sun, or the Surya, must shine through your tali. Then you want a blessing. And you must wear it in the temple. Either you move to Malaysian temple or not the single temple. Unless the temple cannot be used, then you use it. But today modern, Hindu would like to do all because they want to celebrate one day. Now the wedding, you see very elaborate. I want this one decoration, but in the temple you can't do much decoration. That is why. But today, when I get married, I think I don't spend on the more because it's a waste. Better I spend more on the wedding, where I put my wedding dice on those days wedding dice. Those days, today you can't find anymore. Then I also do spending all the things down there, too much so. I finished my wedding about, only the morning wedding is about 20K.
20K.
Morning wedding. Everything I spend, everything plus the dinner for two. Finish up all your
So this is one of the, when you want to keep a tradition, it comes something. Unless, as I said, if I can invent on one stop center, rank props, maybe, but not the costume, some of the things. So, but anyway,
And then, but I would like to turn to my wife now, actually. She is an Indonesian, Indian, but I forced her to sew this costume with the looking of through the photograph. And what you see the attire on top, the sanggol, is actually a Baba Nyonya sanggol. Why we use Baba Nyonya sanggol? Those days, the Melaka Chitty, they are good with the Baba Nyonya, because some of them are working with the Baba Nyonya, and some Baba Nyonya are staying in the Kira side, so they are good. They say brothers and sisters. So when I want to use my thing for prayers, the Baba will go to the house of the Chitty, please let me ulang like this one and one, then they do it. So when you get married, the Baba say, why are you doing this one? Now I give you to the land. So that's why they want to go. The attire with the parts here. So I use that one. Back where those people, that is what I tried to get in before 1940. Actually I have not failed and achieved everything to what I did. And they like to use things not to fight actually. It's only because those days they use line. But today, those days, now only they use line. But today, the time when I get married, I find out why they use this. I ask, nobody can answer. So I find out there is something wrong somewhere. But actually, it's where that is. Because those days people they like to use black magic to. So it is the protection. There's nothing else to fight. But as you can see, if you see truly everything, the men during wedding they have to send 9 trays. But the bride only bring one cover with one coconut and rice. So go to the temple and put. Why he carry the coconut and rice? Because the next day she have to cook for the husband. So that is the rice and coconut, because the Melaka Chitty coconut. So what they do, they put the rice and give to the husband, and then nice or not nice, you are still my wife.
Just a remark, you said no research had been done on Chitty Malaka.
pardon?
You said no research done, but I saw a museum in the village, at the entrance of the village.
A museum where?
Chitty Museum.
Okay, yes, yeah.
It's not a research center?
It's not really a research center. It's just a museum to display all. I think he can speak on it because he started the museum. He is the founder of the museum. Actually, I would say a curator also.
Okay, come back to the museum was ready on 2000, but someone had failed to put artifacts in the museum because the government was proposed to us earlier, 1990, when our late Aruna Sandam was a YD for MIC, and then our Chief Minister, Tan Sri Ryan Kamichi, proposal that the Melaka Chitty must have a museum. So they built up the museum on 2000, the house, but it's a fail because nobody want to give any artifact. So on 2003, I was called up by the government to back to see what I can do. And that time was Dr. Padria. She forced me and tell me, you have to set up the museum within 1 month. So I was given within 1 month. I managed to get the artifact that what the Melaka Chitty having. So actually the museum is only to let you to see how the lifestyle of the museum, or the people, and what they have do, the past and the marriage, everything. And the museum is a house of the Chitty Melaka, where you can see the Setane, the house, the middle house, then after that we go to the kitchen. Those days the kitchen are separated. I supposed to have well, but I couldn't dig the well because I worried somebody would jump inside there. So that is why I want to dig the well. But that is the look of the house. They got 3-4 types of house. We choose that one because typical like in India. So it's only not as they can call a center for research, but not much information was given there. Because Set Zela on Viola, When the museum was started, there's no much committed by the community. Only a few fellow will be committed. So that's why the museum is not a fail, but we managed to open the museum on time.
I think in any other Madhya society there will be some challenges. So yeah, there are a lot of challenges. We hope for the best. Thank you.
I think we have to give a big hand to Rajan because I was there at the opening of the Peranakan, the Peranakan Museum di Melaka. My son was a little boy then, he was also there. And I really take my hat off to them because, you know, unlike a lot of our museums locally, you know, even though I meet the friends at the museum story shelf, you know, a lot of our things are like, you know, photostat copies or, you know, reka-reka things because we don't get the original ones. And as he said, you know, it's very difficult to get the original ones. Nobody wants to lend to the museum. I was even asked to bring my kasut money or something like that, but they were too precious to me. What insurance do I have that they won't disappear? Not for the value, but for the sentimental value, not the monetary value. So I think if you have a chance, please go and visit the Chitty Museum and get Rajan to bring you around. He gave a very good explanation of the setup of the wedding stage and things like that. And a lot of the things there are from the Chitty community themselves. They are originals. Okay, so to get a chance to see originals in a museum, you know, is rare.
I think he has turned his house into a museum too. So yes, and if you want to visit, you can visit. And if you want any local Melaka Chitty dishes, you tell me. Because I visited his museum. Yeah. So just to let you know, it's called Living Gallery, right?
Next question. Okay.
Fine.
If there are no other questions, then we'll move on to the rest of the...
Okay. So yes, I'd like to invite Mrs. Vimala Devi, who is Nadarajan's sister, and her daughter, who is just 11 years old, to entertain us, because in every Melaka Chitty wedding we have Dondang Sayang. This Dondang Sayang is usik mengusik anak dan ibu. Means it's kind of like, you know, joking with mother and child. Okay?